This glowing dithered animation I made from some video footage has been really popular when I shared it online, and just this effect generally. And so at the request of someone in our Discord server, I'm going to be covering creating this animation using Ditherboy, and I'm going to show something else as well, because in the original version of this that I made, we had less features in Ditherboy. So I'm going to be using Ditherboy version 5 here. Before I get into the tutorial, if you are not aware of Ditherboy, this is a software that we've been working on all year. When it first launched back in February, it didn't have video support, it didn't have the effect I'm going to show today, and it didn't have the glow that I'm going to show today. So we've been adding free updates to all the features I'm showing you here. It's just a one-time purchase software, and then you get everything that we add to it no matter what. So if you want to know more about Ditherboy, then check below the video and I will leave some links where you can get all the important information. But to get straight into the video here, I've got this footage from a site called Pexels. Pexels is a stock image website, but they do videos too. So if you can go on here, you can search for videos, and generally speaking, you should always check, but they are free to use, like per their Pexels license. So I got this clip from this person or people called Rocketman Team. There's loads of stuff on their profile, but I'll leave a link to this below. And if you don't want to do the same clip as me, there are some really similar ones underneath that get recommended. Or if you just type in like hands, basically all you need to get something that comes through well in this effect is something that is going to be discernible and identifiable through a pattern. So something with like an obvious subject, something with familiar shapes and features. So like text, simple shapes, facial features, side profile of a person. All this stuff does well with dithering because you can identify it. It's like a pattern recognition thing. But yeah, whatever you're going to dither today, I will leave this linked below. And I've already got Ditherboy open here. If you have not seen this color scheme before, then that means you are not in Ditherboy version 5. So I'll go to extras. So I'll go to help and click on check for updates here, and just make sure you're at least in version 5 for this video. You don't have to have the Halloween theme if you don't want, but I'm going to use the Halloween theme because it is October. So next, I'm going to go to import and click on import video, and it'll extract frames from the video, and here it is. This is the clip that I just showed you on Pexels. Now, before we get started, one thing I would also recommend getting for this tutorial is going to extras and clicking on color palettes, which will bring you here. And I just recommend, you can get them all if you want, but the acid graphics category, they're all free, so it doesn't matter what you get here. You can just download all and then install them. But once you get them, you can come to adjustments, palettes, and then you can bulk import all of them here. I'll show you why I recommend getting that in a minute. So first I need to apply an actual effect here. So the effect in my reference is from the glitch effects, and it is the modulated diffuse Y dither. So here when I load it in, it doesn't look anything like how it's supposed to, and you'll see as I zoom in, the pattern will change a couple of times. That's just because there are not enough pixels on this region of my screen, or this region of the recording, or this region of your screen watching it back, to accurately represent the pattern that is being generated here by the dither. So if you zoom in, you'll start to see the lines coming in. I'll probably have to zoom in a little bit more for this to come through on the recording, but here you can see the lines. So all we need to do is just up the scale on this one a little bit until you can actually see the pattern that we're aiming for. If you want your pattern to go horizontally, then it just changed to modulated diffuse X. With this clip, because the hands are coming together and they're moving horizontally, they move left to right. Because of that, I'm going to use the dithering on the Y axis so that the pattern will essentially respond more to the movement in the video. So that'll make more sense when we get to the end of this. But next, you're going to go to palette category and acid graphics, and then choose this one here called super blush, and you can start turning up the depth. And just with the default settings here, you can see that using the depth slider, we start to isolate the highlights into this central red in the super blush palette. Now, this won't work quite the same for all palettes. It's just this particular type of palette that goes from very desaturated and dark to one bright saturated color and then out to desaturated and light. I'm going to make some more palettes like this. Didn't really intend or didn't really know that I would have this use case for this palette at the time when I made it, but it works really, really well in combination with these glitch effects. So I'm going to stick to that. Now, alternatively, if you switch to abstract, you can choose this one called crystalline, which will give you something similar, but what you'll have to do is go a little bit further with the depth to like 6, then you'll have to lower the contrast down. So you can get something similar if you don't want to go and download anything just yet. But yeah, I'm going to stick to the Super Blush palette here. So I need to up my contrast again and reset my depth to 4. And you can add a little bit of blur as well to smooth out the lines. And if you want to increase the likelihood of lines forming in the pattern here, you can lower the luminance threshold too. The reason that works that way is basically when you set the luminance threshold, you are setting a value in the luminance spectrum or scale that a pixel has to hit before it is dithered into the pattern, rather than being, you know, one of these background colors like this gray here. So when a pixel meets that requirement, if it meets the requirement and even has 10 more, you know, it's 10 above the requirement, it will pass the 10 on to the pixel above or below it. Or in other words, it will pass the extra luminance that it has on to the next pixel on the axis that you chose. So in this case, that is the y-axis. So that means by setting a very low luminance threshold, more pixels are able to pass on their additional luminance so that their neighboring pixels end up dithered into the pattern rather than the background. And so it just increases the likelihood of lines forming. Hopefully I explained that right, because it was like May or April or something when I had to write about that to get it added into Ditherboy. But yeah, you see, if you up the contrast, so you're basically boosting, or up the midtones, up the highlights, you're boosting the pixels. Because the luminance threshold is low, there are lots of lines forming now because there's plenty to offload along the y-axis all the way up to the top. But I'm just going to go for something like this. Now, in the original, when I did this originally, we didn't have any effects in Ditherboy. So if you tick this little effects tick box, you'll start rendering a glow effect called epsilon glow that we developed specifically to work with dithering. When I made the original that I showed you at the beginning, I just took that out into After Effects and I stacked some Gaussian blur, some hue and saturation, and a different plugin in there. But now you've got glow built into Ditherboy and you can just enable this. So I've done a video breaking down epsilon glow already, but in short, you are going to use the threshold slider here at the top to, like I was just discussing about threshold in the dithering, you're setting the minimum requirements for a pixel to emit light or to emit glow in your final output. So when I said that this was designed to work with dithering and with Ditherboy, what I essentially mean is you've loaded in this dither and you've injected the color in using our color method with the depth slider. So you've got control over the shading here. So if I start messing with like the line scale here, you'll get more values from the end of the palette coming in. If I, like I said before, if I up the contrast, again, this influences the palette and the distribution of the colors and the dither itself. So once you've got the dither set up how you want it, where there are these layers directly from your palette using the depth slider, you can then use the threshold slider to effectively restrict the glow effect to only hit the brighter sections from your palette, if that makes sense. You can use threshold smoothing to make sure that there's no like banding or lines coming through, hard lines in the glow. And then from here, you know, it's basically up to you on intensity and radius. So I prefer a lower radius on mine. And because the hands are coming together in the middle here, I'm going to max out the aspect ratio and I'm just going to turn the angle of the direction here to sort of match in the middle. And then I'm going to turn up the epsilon and I'm going to turn the distance scale down. Doing that will make the glow a little bit more intense. And if you want like full explanations of what every slider does here, like I said, I did a video on that and I would recommend watching that one when I explained it a little bit better than I have today probably. So this is the version that I've redone in Ditherboy. So I'm going to render out two versions now. I'm going to render out a version with no effects and then I'm going to render out the version with this epsilon glow. The only change I'm going to make is I'm just going to lower the aspect ratio a little bit so it's not too intense. But to do that, you just go to File, Video and Export Video. And you'll get this little pop-up for processing frames. The length of this is dependent on the bitrate of your video, the length of your video, the size of the frame, and what's going on in the video as well. So if yours takes a little bit longer than mine, then it might just be that you're using a different video. Usually mine's a lot quicker, but whenever I hit record, obviously like there's stuff going on my computer, so it takes a bit longer. Okay, so my first export's done, and now I'm just gonna disable the glow and I'm gonna redo it. Okay, so both of them have now exported. Obviously, before I show the epsilon glow one, you don't have to do the exact same settings as me. So if you didn't like the aspect ratio, then just turn that all the way down and it will disappear. But I will show both the epsilon glow version and the regular non-glow version on screen now. And just because it was requested, I'm going to very quickly show you what I actually did do back before we had the glow here to get the original that I showed at the beginning. So I'm going to load up After Effects. There is a plugin I'm going to use. It's called Deep Glow. I'm not affiliated with it in any way. So I can't add Deep Glow to Ditherboy or give you it or anything like that. But if you work regularly in After Effects, then you've probably heard of this before. So here I've got the export. I'm not going to play it in this because it makes my recording lag a little bit, but yeah, I just used the Deep Glow plugin and it's more or less the same process. So just isolate the threshold until you're happy. And then obviously because we're in After Effects, you've got access to other things like hue and saturation where you can tint the entire thing if you would like to do that. So yeah, two different glow effects. Deep Glow obviously is a different glow to epsilon glow. So you will get different outputs from both. But yeah, that's how I made it originally. That's how you can make it now in Ditherboy. Benefits to both look different. You would use both things for different projects or like use cases maybe, but yeah, that's how I did it. I've been pretty on top of these tutorials recently, so if there's something you want to see, if there's something I've made with Dithering or with Ditherboy and you would like to get a video on it, then just make yourself known and let me know. Other than that, thank you for all the support. Updates and tutorials and stuff just would not be able to happen if not for all the support. So yeah, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.